Thanks for joining us for CBN News Midday. I'm Heather Sells. A teenager who says she fled from Ohio to Florida will save her life will remain in Florida state custody a while longer. A judge called for further investigation of Rivka Berry's case. She claims her Muslim father threatened her life after he learned of her conversion to Christianity. CBN's Ephraim Graham has new details on her story, including a court petition with harsh claims against her family and an Ohio Muslim community.
Just before a judge ruled Rivka Berry would remain in Florida, at least for now, the 17-year-old girl asked to speak. She told the court why she ran away from her Ohio home a few months ago and the threat she faced because she left Islam.
I've been a Christian for 4 years of my life. I just want to say that I love my family. I love them so much. I love my parents, and yet I'm so in fear of my life because of the past abuse that I've encountered. The only cry from my heart is to have freedom to worship without being beaten or killed, and I feel that will happen severely here in the state of Florida.
Some of the details of the alleged abuse is outlined in this court petition. In one incident, Rivka says her father snatched her laptop, hit her with it, and waved it over her head, yelling, "If you have Jesus in your heart, you are dead to me. You are not my daughter. I will kill you." Words we heard a tearful Rivka repeat for reporters several weeks ago.
They have to kill me. My blood is now halal, which means that because I am now a Christian, I'm from a Muslim background, it's an honor. If they love God more than me, they have to do this.
Rivka took a bus to Florida, where she was taken in by the family of an evangelical pastor she first met on the computer networking site Facebook. Rivka's parents claim they brainwashed her, but a close friend of Rivka's who spoke to CBN News by phone says otherwise.
I was very curious as to how she came to know Jesus, and she shared that story with me, and then she shared the fear, the daily fear that she lives in of being a Christian in her home. So it was sobering.
Jamal Javanji, who also converted from Islam to Christianity, met Rivka in Ohio more than a year ago. He was also in the Florida courtroom Friday.
I've heard about these stories in places like Iraq, places like Jordan and Egypt, but I have never seen it here in the United States like I saw it in Rivka. And to believe that it was happening in the Columbus, Ohio area, which is where I'm from, I would have never guessed it, but it was real, and I saw the fear in her.
The judge has asked Florida's Department of Law Enforcement to investigate the Muslim community in Columbus, Ohio, where Rivka family lives. The court petition raises concerns about the mosque her parents attend because the Al-Noor Islamic Cultural Center has reported ties to terrorism. Ephraim Graham, CBN News.
Well, joining us now to understand more of the judge's decision in Berry's case is Lynn Combe, a family law expert and professor at Regent Law School. Lynn, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Heather.
Yeah, tell us, first of all, the judge decided to keep Rivka in Florida. Did that surprise you?
Well, it actually didn't surprise me. I know there's a lot of law professor blogs out there that are saying she should be in Ohio. I agree, except there is no petition in Ohio. So the reason the judge kept her in Florida is because Florida has the Uniform Child Custody Jurisdiction Emergency Act, which allows them to protect a child that needs protection. And the Florida Children and Family Services just filed a dependency hearing to say, look, we have a child in need of shelter. There's an emergency. Let's let her keep her here. Friday's hearing brought to light the whole jurisdiction problem, and that's what surprised people.
What is it about the jurisdiction that surprised people?
Well, that Florida is retaining jurisdiction, and I think that's mainly because no one in Ohio has stepped up and said we should have jurisdiction. How that happens is somebody petitions an Ohio court, and a judge says, yeah, it should be back here because she's lived here for the past 6 months. No one has done that, and that to me is very interesting and very telling. So the Florida court now feels like, well, no one in Ohio is making a petition. Everybody's showing up here. I guess we have jurisdiction, and we need to move ahead to protect the best interest of this child who's now here in our state.
Now, you read the petition. What stood out to you in that petition?
I have to admit, I was shocked by the long pattern of abuse. It's clear to me from that petition that it looks like Rivka has kept quiet this pattern of abuse that has been part of her family life. She has an older brother that the parents allowed to kind of keep her in line with beatings now and then. Those led up when Rivka found out that the brother was doing things that wouldn't be too pleasing to the parents. But she has kind of lived with fear and intimidation for a while from the petition. That was shocking to me. I thought this
Okay.
was all about just her faith, but her faith has kind of topped it off.
Wow. Now, the judge has called for further investigation. What will the investigators be looking for?
The investigators, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, is going to Ohio, not because they want to, because almost they have to. Ohio has not investigated this. They are looking for what every child protective services in every state looks for. Is there evidence of abuse or neglect or abandonment? So they're going to be talking with, obviously, the parents, the other people in the home, neighbors, school people, counselors, teachers, people in Rivka's community to see what's really happening in this child's life. Has she been abused? Is there an endangerment to her? And does Florida need to continue to protect her?
All right. I think a lot of people will be watching with interest to see what happens here. Lynn Combe, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Heather.